I would recommend an open knee, closed toe child's pose. If that's not comfortable for you for whatever reason, then just bring, if you want to come into a closed knee child's pose, then that is absolutely fine. I would recommend, if your head doesn't come fully down to the mat, then just having a block or a book or any sort of support for your head can help relieve any pressure on your neck. And also, same goes for your hips and your heels. If your hips don't quite meet your heels, we can always put a block or a book, a blanket, a towel, anything that you have, a cushion, just to provide a little bit of a point of contact for your hips. It can be quite nice when we're down in child's pose as a relaxing pose. So just find your child's pose. I'm just going to stay sat up while I'm talking so you can all hear me okay. Yeah, today's class is going to be a slightly stronger class than what I would normally teach. So it'll be quite fun. Lots of planks and vinyasas, chaturangas, down dogs, all sorts. So just being mindful of where you're at. You might feel full of energy, you might feel completely knackered. So please just take it in your own time, at your own pace. Whenever you need to rest, just come back down into child's pose. Obviously that's more than fine. Just being mindful of any injuries, any niggles, especially around the shoulders, the wrists, the hips, the joints, you know, all the usual problem areas. So just being careful. Again, if you do need to come out of a pose, just come out, have a rest, join back in when you can. And yeah, just enjoy. Okay, so we should all be getting settled into our child's poses now. And just taking some nice long deep breaths once we're there. And the nice thing when we're down in child's pose is that you can really feel your body kind of expanding as you breathe when you're kind of down on the floor, and you can hear your breath. So really go for it. Really take some big long inhales and big long exhales, maybe sighing out your exhales, really releasing down into the mat. Feeling your chest, feeling your belly, really feeling your rib cage expand as you inhale, and then kind of squeezing the air out as you exhale. Letting all the air out. Fully emptying the lungs before filling them back up again. So taking a few more deep breaths in your own time. If you want to come back to normal breathing at any time, that's absolutely fine. Whatever is comfortable for you. And just a little bit more about today's class. It'll be vinyasa flow, so based on vinyasa movements. And it's a kind of build as we go flow. So we'll start like with a small sequence on both sides, and then we'll do it again, but then add as we go. So we'll do it a few times, and then by the end of the sequence, you'll really be familiar with what moves are coming next. So it's kind of nice to not worry too much about what moves are coming next, because you already know. Which means you can really get into your breathing, into your alignment, just kind of really get into your rhythm a little bit more with it. So yeah, let's see how we go. As I said before, anytime you want to rest, please do come down into child's pose, have a sit down, whatever, whatever position is comfortable for you. Okay, so taking a few more breaths down in our child's pose. And then we're slowly just going to walk the hands over to the left-hand side of our mat. And then just maybe slightly leaning into the right side of your body. So you can find a nice stretch all the way down, kind of the side of your arm, your shoulder, into your rib cage. Keeping your breath slow and steady. And then slowly walking your hands back through center over to the other side. And again, you can always kind of lean into that left-hand side of the body, so just finding a really nice stretch. You know, maybe having a little wiggle around with your hands, finding whatever position is good for you. And then coming back through to center. Bringing your hands shoulder distance apart if they're not already that distance, and really spreading out our fingers. So we really want to get the biggest distance we can between our thumb and our little pinky finger, and then really press down into the mat. So I want your elbows to be lifting up off the mat. So we're coming into quite an active child's pose here. You can leave your head down on the mat, but really pushing down into the ground with your hands. At the same time, almost pushing your hands away from you. So you're really pushing back into your hips. So you're really starting to stretch out all the way from your fingers down the side body, your ribs into your hips. Feeling a really good stretch all the way through your upper body. Okay, when we're ready, we're going to make our way up to all fours. So just bringing yourself up onto hands and knees. Bringing our hands directly underneath our shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, toes pointing backwards. Finding our neutral spine first of all. So just taking our gaze towards the front edge of our mat. Starting to engage our core, so pulling our belly button back towards our spine. We don't want to be sinking into our lower back, so starting to aim for our flat back here. And really pushing down through our hands, engaging through the back of the shoulders, and engaging through our lower leg as well. So really pushing down all the way from your knee down to your foot. So it's quite an active position. Coming into our cat-cows as we inhale, taking the gaze forward, belly down to the mat. And as you exhale, pushing up, curving the spine up towards the ceiling, letting the head hang if that's okay on your neck. And then taking another inhale, moving forward. Just taking these moves in your own time, following your own breath. So really being mindful of every movement of your spine. Trying to move each little part of your spine separately. So you're finding a nice curve, a nice rhythm. And taking a couple more rounds. We'll meet back in our neutral spine, so coming back to your flat back. And then just warming up the wrists a little bit. So we're just going to take some circles around the wrists. So keeping your hands, we've got really wide fingers here, so keep really pushing down with your hands and just moving your weight over your wrists. You can take circles both ways. And then taking your left hand, turning it 90 degrees, so the fingertips are pointing out towards the edge of your mat. Just taking some gentle rocking motions from side to side. Just starting to stretch out the inner wrist. And then turning another 90 degrees, so the fingers are pointing back towards you, if your hand reaches that far. If it doesn't, it really doesn't matter. Just turn it as far as you need to. And then we can just gently kind of rock backwards and forwards. Not putting all the weight on that hand, just enough to get a nice stretch. And then we're going to flip the hand over, so we're on the top of our hand, and just doing the same, so just stretching out the top of the wrist. Just a nice gentle kind of rocking motion. Okay, giving our left hand a shake. Same on the right hand side, just turning our fingertips out 90 degrees, out to the edge of the mat. Just gently rocking side to side. Turning our fingertips another 90 degrees. So fingers are pointing back towards us, or as far as that will allow, as far as your wrist will allow. And then flipping the hand over, so we're just on the top of our hand, not putting too much weight on your right hand, obviously, just enough just to get a little bit of a stretch in the wrist. We're just spending quite a lot of time on our wrists today, so always good to give them a little stretch out, especially if you've been typing away on a computer all day. And giving that right hand a little shake. Good. Okay, stretching our right leg out behind us. So keeping the toes tucked under, just pushing out through the back heel, opening up the back of the leg. And then we're slowly going to lift our right leg up to our hip height, at the same time lifting our left arm up, so opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching out through our left fingertips, reaching back through our right heel, keeping our toes pointed down towards the ground, keeping our core engaged, our spine as straight as we can. Keeping our breathing steady. And then slowly lowering back down onto the mat. Coming back into our neutral spine, same on the other side. So just sliding those left toes back, tucking the toes under, pushing out through the heel. Finding a nice stretch kind of through the calf, the back of the knee, maybe up into the hamstring. And then slowly lifting up that leg, opposite arm, so right arm this time, reaching out through the right fingertips, back through the left heel. Keeping our core engaged, we want our back to be as flat as we can, nice and stable, nice and strong. Nice steady breathing. And then releasing back down to the mat. Good. Just taking a couple more cat-cows just to loosen up. Just in your own time. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, coming up into our first downward dog. So pushing down through the hands, straightening the arms, lifting the hips up nice and high. We can keep the knees bent here. It's our first down dog. Well, maybe not for some, but if it's your first down dog, just taking it easy to begin with. You can maybe paddle out the legs, so just bending into one knee, then the other. And just finding whatever movement you need to take now. So just listening to your body. Pausing where you might need to, finding stillness if you need to. And then we're going to bring our weight forward into our plank pose. So shifting weight forward, so our shoulders are over our wrists, bringing our hips down, stretching out through the backs of the heels, so through the bottoms of the heels, sorry. Our legs are nice and engaged. We can lower the knees to begin with. Be kind to ourselves, untuck the toes and lowering down to the mat, keeping the elbows really squeezed into the sides, so nice and controlled lowering down. Okay, first option of back bend is our cobra. So hands come underneath our shoulders, pushing down into the mat with the tops of our feet, inhaling up into our cobra, nice gentle back bend just to warm up, exhaling down. We can push up through hands and knees, tucking the toes under, back into our downward facing dog. Really pushing in through the hands, nice wide fingers. Straightening the arms, relaxing the head and the neck, maybe giving your head a little shake from side to side. And then everyone coming up onto their tiptoes. So really engaging through the legs, lifting the hips up high and then melting the heels down towards the mat. And again, lifting up onto the tiptoes and then melting down. Remember, your knees can be bent, that's absolutely fine. Once again, shifting forward into our plank. Shoulders over wrists, hips come down. If we're feeling strong, we can come down all in one go, but we want all of our body to hit the mat at the same time. So nice slow lowering down, untucking the toes, maybe peeling up a little bit higher into our back bend this time, and down, pushing up, hands and knees into our downward facing dog. We'll be doing a lot of vinyasas today, so always just choosing which variation works for you. You can either do full planks, half planks, come up to downward dog with your hands and knees or not. Yogi's choice. Okay, one more vinyasa, shifting forward into plank, lowering down, maybe coming into our up dog, cobra, whichever back bend, your choice, and then up into our downward facing dog. Taking our gaze forward, we're going to walk or step up to the front of the mat, keeping nice and low, feet hip distance apart, holding onto opposite elbows, coming into our ragdoll. Just letting the head hang heavy, swaying gently from side to side if that feels okay for you. Taking a nice bend in the knees. And then releasing the hands down to the mat, uncurling ourselves all the way up to standing, nice and slowly. Okay, coming up to standing. Feet hip distance apart. Engaging the thighs, so really pulling the kneecaps kind of up towards your hips, so nice strong legs. Lengthening the tailbone down towards the mat. Lengthening through the spine. Standing up nice and tall, tucking your chin down so we're not kind of compressing the back of the neck. And then maybe just taking some shoulder rolls, loosening up the shoulders. And just letting the shoulders melt back and down. And same with the neck, maybe just taking some little neck stretches. Maybe semicircling down. Just pausing wherever you need to, being mindful of your body, how you're feeling. Okay, and then just giving ourselves a little bit of a shake, loosening ourselves up. Okay, as we inhale, we're going to reach up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward from the hips, bending into the knees, letting the head hang heavy. As we inhale, uncurling all the way back up to standing, reaching the arms up high. And exhaling, coming down through cactus. Maybe taking a slight back bend here, we can take our look up to the ceiling. And then inhaling, reaching back up to the sky. Exhaling, fold forward. Nice big inhale to come all the way back up to standing. Sweeping the arms up high. Exhale, down into our cactus, maybe a little back bend. Inhaling back up. One more time, exhaling all the way down. Inhaling, uncurling all the way up to standing. Sweeping the arms up. Exhaling down into our little cactus back bend. Inhaling up. And this time coming all the way down into our forward fold. Staying down, letting the head hang heavy. As we inhale, reaching forward with the crown of our head, coming into our halfway lift, flat back. And then exhaling, hands come down to the mat. We're going to step our left foot back, lowering the back knee down, coming into our low lunge. Just making sure our right ankle is directly below our right knee. Sweeping the arms up, lifting up from the hips, engaging through the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders. And then bringing the hands down, framing the front foot, stepping back to our plank or half plank, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling your back bend and exhaling downward dog. Nice deep breaths in our down dog, lifting the hips nice and high, strong through the arms, broadening across the shoulders. Just checking our heels are tucked behind our toes, feet hip distance apart. And we're going to take a big step forward with our left foot. If it doesn't quite reach up to our hands, just grabbing the ankle, bringing it forward, lowering the right knee down, sweeping up low lunge. Relaxing the shoulders. Hands come down to the mat. Tucking the back toe under, stepping forward, halfway lift. exhaling down. Inhaling, sweeping all the way up to standing. Exhaling, Tadasana. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling into our halfway lift. Hands come down to the mat, stepping back with our right foot, low lunge. Sweeping the arms up. This time maybe wiggling the front foot a little further forward, maybe coming a little bit deeper into the lunge, if that feels okay on your hips. Just opening up the legs here, opening up the hips. And then we're going to rock back on that front heel, bringing the hands down. You can just bring them down to your leg if they don't quite meet the floor. Just finding a stretch through that left hamstring. Or all down the back of the leg, really pulling those left toes back towards you so this front leg is really active. And then rocking back forward, we're going to bring our hands inside our left leg, turning the left toes out at 45 degrees, coming into our lizard pose, so just opening up that left hip, the front of that right hip. Taking a couple of breaths here. We're not staying here for too long. Okay, tucking the back toes under, swinging that left leg back into our plank, vinyasa, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling into our back bend. And exhaling up into our downward facing dog. Looking forward, stepping forward with our right leg. Nice big step forward, low lunge, lowering that left knee down, sweeping the arms up high, maybe sinking the hips a little lower, wiggling that front foot forward a little bit. And then rocking back on our heel, pulling those right toes back towards us, finding a nice stretch all down that front leg. Bending the knee here is absolutely fine as well. Just finding your stretch. And then coming forward, bringing our hands inside that right foot, bringing the right toes out to that 45-degree angle, and just settling into our lizard just for a few breaths. Good, okay, tucking that back toe under, coming back into our plank, swinging that right leg round, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling into your back bend, and exhaling up and back into our downward facing dog. Hips up nice and high, strong through the arms. Okay, so this is the start of our main flow. So really focusing on your breathing, moving with the breath, resting when you need to. Okay, on an inhale, we're going to lift up our right leg high, so three-legged dog. Bringing our right knee to touch our right elbow. Then swinging the right leg back again. Right knee to left elbow. Right leg high. Stepping the right leg forward, so really squeezing the knee into your chest. Stepping forward into our high lunge, sweeping the arms up. Trying to really straighten that back leg if we can. And we're going to straighten up that front leg, really push down with that back left heel so we can get a nice stretch down the left leg. Relaxing the shoulders. And as we bend into the front leg, we're going to bring our right arm back, left hand forward, so coming into a twist. Inhaling back up to our center position, so straightening both legs. And then coming into our warrior two, so pivoting on that back foot, bringing our hands down to shoulder height, bending into the front knee. Just making sure that front knee is directly over the front foot. So it's not coming in, really kind of encouraging it out. Reverse warrior, so left hand can come to the left hip, the left thigh, reaching up and over with our right hand. And then bringing the right elbow to our right knee, reaching the left fingertips over, side angle pose. Taking your variation here, you want to bring your hand down to the floor or come into the bind by all means. Back through our warrior two, cartwheeling the arms over, stepping back into our plank, vinyasa, lowering down. Your back bend, downward facing dog. Nice slow deep breathing. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. Okay, left side. So lifting the left leg high, three-legged dog. And bringing the left knee to touch the left elbow. Left leg high. Right elbow. High. And then squeezing that left knee into your chest, stepping it forward into our high lunge. Finding your balance. Relaxing down the shoulders, softening the face. Straightening that front leg, really pushing down with that back heel. And then bending back into the front knee as we twist to the other side. So left arm back, right arm forward. Coming back through our center point. And then into our warrior two, other side. So left foot forward, right foot back. Really extending out through the fingertips. Reverse warrior, left arm up and over. And into our side angle. Your version of your side angle. Trying to open up the chest, so really kind of pulling that right shoulder up and back. Coming back through our warrior two. And cartwheeling the arms over, vinyasa. Stepping back to plank. Lowering down. Back bend. And downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to do that again, but we're going to build on it this time. So you know what's coming. Taking a couple of deep breaths in our down dog. This is our resting pose. Remember, you can always come to child's pose. Okay, lifting our right leg high. Right knee to right elbow. Right leg high. Left elbow. Right leg high. Step forward into our high lunge. Finding your balance. Straightening up that front leg, pushing down with that back heel. And then softening, bending that front knee into our twist, right arm back, left hand forward. Back through our center point and straight into our warrior two. Relaxing down the shoulders, pulling them away from the ears. Reverse warrior. Side angle pose. Coming back through warrior two, straightening that front leg, coming into our trikonasana. So reaching forward with those right fingertips, coming into our triangle pose. Left fingertips up, right fingertips, doesn't matter where they come. Straightening both legs, firming up both thighs. Keeping our legs straight and strong, we're then going to slowly bring ourselves up, windmilling all the way around into our reverse triangle. So right fingertips up to the sky, Left fingertips just landing on that back leg. And then coming back down, bending into that front knee, cartwheeling the hands round, vinyasa. Coming into your down dog. Focusing on your breathing. Okay, left hand side, left leg high, left knee to left elbow. Left leg high, right elbow. Inhale high, and exhale, bringing the knee close to the chest, stepping it forward into our high lunge. Straightening that back leg, strong and straight. Okay, straightening the front leg, pushing down through the back heel, keeping the arms engaged. And then softening that front knee into our twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Coming back through our center point, straight into our warrior two. Making sure that back foot's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Front toes facing forward. And watch that your weight's not coming forward. We want our rib cage, our torso above our hips here. So feel like someone's pulling your hand back, your right hand back. Reverse warrior. Into your version of your side angle pose. Keeping that top arm strong and straight. Coming back up through our warrior two, straightening that front leg, reaching forward, and then windmilling down into our Trikonasana triangle pose. Firming up the thighs, strong legs. And then windmilling all the way back into our reverse triangle. And then cartwheeling down, vinyasa. Always taking your version, remember. Resting where you need to be. Hips up high, melting the heels down to the mat. Don't worry about the knees being bent. Pushing down through your hands, through all of your fingers, your thumb, your pinky. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. Okay, right leg high. Right elbow. Right leg high. Left elbow. Right leg high. Stepping forward into our high lunge. Straightening that front leg. Softening into the twist. Sweeping up through the center point into our warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Coming up through our warrior two, straightening the front leg, reaching forward, Trikonasana. Windmilling the arms all the way up, reverse triangle. Coming back into our warrior two, bending that front knee. We're going to now bend into our left knee, straightening that right leg, coming into our Skandasana. So coming right down low, hands can come to the floor in front of you, into our prayer position if you have your balance. Pulling those right toes back towards you. So we want a really strong, straight leg here. Keeping low, we're going to come through center all the way to the other side. So planting the right foot down, bringing those left toes back towards you, finding your balance. Each side's very different. And then bringing that left foot down to the mat, we're going to come through to center, straighten up both legs. If we can, don't worry if the knees are still a bit bent, coming into our wide-legged forward fold. You might just want to wiggle your feet out a little bit. Just finding your position, straightening the legs if we can, and then slowly lowering down into our forward fold. Using your breath here, really releasing down with your exhales. If you can, walk your hands back between your feet, then please do so. Again, just finding your version. And then slowly, everyone bringing their hands underneath their shoulders. Hands come to the hips on a nice big inhale, coming up to standing. Keeping our feet nice and wide. We're going to inhale, sweeping the arms up to the sky. And then exhaling down through our cactus. Sweeping the arms up. And then exhaling down. One more time, sweeping up. And then exhaling down. Turning the right toes out to face the front, coming back through our warrior two, bending into that right leg, right knee. Cartwheeling the arms down. Vinyasa. Making your way into your downward dog. Remember, you can rest in child's pose if you need. Okay, left hand side, reaching the left leg nice and high. Left knee to left elbow. Left leg high. Left knee to left right elbow. Left leg high. Bringing it forward into our high lunge. Nice big step forward, reaching the arms up. Whew. Straightening that front knee. Softening into the twist. Sweeping back through the center point. Coming into our warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle, your variation. Then bringing ourselves up nice and strong through the core, straightening that front leg, reaching forward, triangle pose. Really reaching up through those right fingertips. Strong thighs, firming up the thighs, pressing down through the feet. Coming into our reverse triangle. Back through our warrior two. And then back into our Skandasana. So bending into the right leg, the right knee, straightening out the left leg, pulling those left toes back towards you. Finding your balance. And then keeping nice and low, bringing that left foot down to the mat, shifting our weight over, and then pulling up those right toes, firming up that right leg. Bringing our hands down to the floor, coming through center, back to our wide-legged forward fold. So I'm just going to turn to face you here. So just finding our distance for our fold, bringing the hands down to the floor. You can always use blocks or books here if your hands don't quite meet. And then relaxing down into your fold. Really pressing down on all four corners of your feet. So we have a tendency to kind of rock towards the outer edge of our feet, really making sure our feet are even on the ground. And then walking your hands a bit forward if you had them between your feet, underneath your shoulders, bringing our hands to our hips, nice big inhale, lifting up. This time we're going to sweep the hands up to the sky, down through our cactus, all the way down. We're going to clasp our hands behind us, stretching out the arms, so straightening the arms if you can. And then we're going to go back forward again, this time lifting our hands up and over. Bringing your focus to your breathing, slowing the breathing down. Nice big inhale, bringing yourself up, releasing your hands all the way up to the sky. Bending into our left foot, isn't it? Yeah, left foot forward, back into our warrior two. Cartwheeling the arms down, stepping back, vinyasa. Hips nice and high in our down dog. Strong through the arms, pushing down with the hands. Maybe taking a little bend in the knees, just paddling your legs out, just taking any movements that you need to take. Okay, last one. Right leg high, right knee to right elbow. Right leg high, left elbow. Right leg high, high lunge. Sweeping the arms up, you know what's coming. Straightening the front leg. Softening into the twist. Sweeping up back through our center point, into our warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Back through our warrior two, straightening that front leg. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Strong, straight legs. Reverse triangle. Coming down into our warrior two. Bending into our left leg, straightening out our right. Skandasana. Shifting our weight over to the other side, pulling those left toes back towards us. Then coming back through center, bringing our hands down, coming into our wide-legged forward fold. We're just going to stay down here this time, so just finding your fold. Bringing yourself back up to a flat back, hands to the hips. Inhaling, lifting ourselves up, right toes out towards the front, into our warrior two. Reverse warrior. This time we're going to cartwheel our hands all the way down, left hand down to the mat, right hand up to the sky into our twisted lunge. And then we're going to take our right foot, we're going to step or walk it back into our side plank. So keeping our hips nice and high, right hand up to the ceiling. If that feels okay, lifting that right leg up. Strong, straight legs. And then bring it all back down, coming through to our normal plank, vinyasa. Downward dog. Okay, left hand side, last one. Left leg high. Left knee to left elbow. Left leg high. Right elbow. And high. Stepping forward into our high lunge. Sweeping the arms up. Whew. Straightening that front leg. Softening into our twist, left hand back, right arm forward. Scooping up through our center point and into our warrior two. Reaching up through those fingers, strong through the legs. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Bringing ourselves up through warrior two, straightening that front leg, Trikonasana. Reverse triangle. Bending the front knee, warrior two, and then coming into our Skandasanas, so bending into the right leg, pulling the left toes up towards us. Shifting our weight over, trying to keep as low as we can. Straightening that right leg. Bringing the right foot down to the floor, finding your forward fold. Nice slow breathing. And then slowly coming up to your flat back, hands to the hips, nice big inhale, coming up to standing. Turning the left toes out to the front, coming back into our warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then cartwheeling that right hand all the way down to the mat, pivoting on that back foot. Left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Okay, you know what's coming into our side plank. So trying to step that foot all the way back to our side plank, keeping our hips nice and high. Reaching up with those left fingertips, and then maybe lifting up that left leg. Bringing it all back down, last vinyasa, lowering down. Inhaling into your back bend, up into your last downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up nice and high, really pushing down with the hands, stretching out the backs of the legs. And then we're all going to come down into child's pose, closed knee child's pose. So knees together, feet together. And then just curling up into your little ball, head comes down to the mat. Bringing the arms behind you if that feels okay, it just loosens up the shoulders. And taking some nice deep breaths here. So noticing how your body is feeling. Really relaxing down. Then slowly we're going to bring ourselves up, bringing your hands just underneath your shoulders, helping to lift your head up. We're just going to shift the feet over to the left. So just come to kind of sit on your right sit bone. And then lifting the left leg over the right knee. You kind of end up looking like this. Hugging that right knee in with your right hand, just twisting around, bringing our left hand behind us. Trying to keep both sit bones as close to the floor as you can. Just gently twisting. Keeping the spine nice and tall. So really lifting up through the crown of the head. And then coming back to center, just bringing that left foot down, and then we're just going to shift to the other side. So bringing your feet round to the right. And then just lifting up this right knee, the right foot, bringing it over your left knee. trying to keep that right sit bone grounded. And then hugging that right knee in with your left hand, bringing your right hand behind you, and then slowly twisting around, really finding length through the spine as we twist. And then slowly coming back to center. We'll bring both feet out in front of us, knees together, feet together, and just bending over, just bringing your arms underneath your thighs, giving yourself a hug, and just curving our spine over our knees. And nice full inhales, slow, long exhales here, really melting down. And then uncurling, we're going to come through to lying. So you might just need to struggle yourself forward on your mat a little bit. Reaching forward with our hands, trying to keep that curve in the spine, coming down nice and slowly, using that core we've just been working so hard on. And all the way to lying. Once we're there, hugging the knees into our chest, having a little rock and roll around, just massaging the spine into the mat. So we're going to bring our left foot down to the mat, quite close to our sit bones, bringing the right ankle across the left thigh, so into our figure 4 stretch. Keeping both feet active, so toes pulling back towards the knees, and then maybe linking our fingers behind our left thigh and just guiding that left thigh in towards us. At the same time, maybe just guiding that right thigh away from us with our right elbow. So finding a good stretch kind of all the way around your right hip. Then releasing your hands if you have them clasped, your left foot comes to the floor, right foot down to the floor, same on the other side, so your left ankle comes across your right knee. And then if it's available to you, just linking your hands underneath that right thigh. Again, keeping your feet active, so toes kind of pulling back towards your knees, just protecting your knees here. And just using your breath with the stretch, using your exhales to soften, to release. Your inhales to find a bit of strength, a bit of space. Good. Okay, releasing down. Keeping the knees, squeezing the knees back in, we'll come into our happy baby. So bringing the arms inside your knees to the outside of your feet, or holding onto your ankles, your calves, wherever you can reach, it really doesn't matter. And then maybe just stretching the legs out. Bringing the palms of the feet parallel with the ceiling to begin with. Pulling the knees into the armpits, trying to keep your spine flat on the floor. And then maybe just having a bit of a play around, just stretching out one leg, then the other. Whatever feels good for you, taking any other movements you feel that your body needs right now. And when you're ready, just releasing your feet, leaving your legs up in the air. We're just going to give them a good shake. Jelly legs. Shake, shake, shake. And then slowly lowering your legs down, maybe bending the knees. We'll come into our Shavasana. Well done, everybody. So bringing the legs nice and wide. Feet just flopping out to the side, just letting your legs feel really heavy. Oh, and releasing down. Bringing your palms facing up towards the ceiling. If that feels comfortable. If not, you can have your hands resting on your belly if you want to feel a bit more grounded. If you have your palms facing up, maybe just snuggling your shoulder blades slightly closer together on the mat. Just helps to open up the chest. And fully releasing down into the mat. Closing down the eyes, softening the face. Releasing any tension around your feet, your ankles. Maybe giving your feet a little shake from side to side and just let them flop out to the side. Releasing your calves, your knees, all the muscles in your thighs, letting your legs feel really heavy. Releasing all around your hips, your lower back, your abdomen. Letting all those muscles either side of your spine fully melt down. All around the back of the shoulder blades. Letting your whole back line of your body just melt into the mat, feeling really heavy. Releasing around your shoulders, your upper arm, your lower arm, your hands. Just letting your fingers naturally curl and letting your arms fully release down into the floor. Releasing around your neck, softening your scalp, all the way around your head, softening the forehead, your eyebrows, around your eye sockets, your cheeks, your jaw, maybe giving your jaw a little shake from side to side. And then just letting your head feel really heavy. Just letting your whole body relax, release, soften. Just if your mind starts wandering, just bringing it back to the breath. Noticing if any tension's crept up anywhere and fully releasing. You have nowhere else to be. Starting to take a couple of slightly longer, deeper breaths. And wiggling the fingers and the toes. Bringing some movement to your wrists and your ankles. And then we'll bring ourselves, when you're ready, into our full body pencil stretch. So bringing your arms up and overhead, pointing out through your toes, stretching out your body. And then bringing your knees back into your chest one last time, giving yourself a hug, squeezing the knees in. And then coming to rest on your right hand side, just staying in your little ball, bringing your left arm underneath your head just to protect your neck. And trying to keep the eyes closed as we push ourselves back up to our seated position. So coming back to cross-legged, back to kneeling, wherever you're comfortable. Closing down the eyes. Finding our nice tall spine when we get there. So really rooting down through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine, reaching up through the crown of our head. Let's take a nice big inhale, lifting the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, back and down, bringing our hands together into our prayer position in front of your heart center. And blinking, open the eyes. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. That was great. Well done, everybody.